Hi, I'm Lisa with Unlimited Book Reviews, and today's review is for the Chronicles of Aveline, Awakening by Ken Fry. For love, for justice, the cover says there. Best-selling author of The Lazarus Secession. So if you're looking at what genre this particular book is, under Amazon.com's listings right now, it's $13.64 under Historical Fiction European, and on Amazon.ca it's listed at $3.83 under Romance, Historical, Medieval. I thought all of those were really quite accurate, but basically I looked at it as a historical tragic romance. That's kind of what this seemed to be, the vibe I got from it. It is supposed to be a series called, this particular book is called Awakening, and I think that down the road, hopefully there will be another. Right now there isn't. It's 234 pages long. The main character in it, there's really only one I'm going to list here because everybody else seems to really come and go. The heroine is Aveline, and it was really, she was like the dominant character in the book. It's written in third person with point of view switches, so very traditional writing and very well written. Book description: 12th century England in the time of Saladin before the Third Crusade. It is the year 1181, and an aging, battle-worn Sir Philip Fitzwilliam contemplates the changes the last crusade inflicted on the landscape and on his estates. The weather-grey bricks of Frolingham Manor look down the valley, the nearby woods and countryside decimated by holy wars where once men dwelt, but never returned from the religious hatred and conflict the Holy Land inflicted upon them. Sir Philip, concerned by rumors of a shifting balance of power favoring Saladin's Muslim armies in the Holy Land, fears yet another conflict. He contemplates the future of his estates and those of his two sons, Giles, his favorite, the other Raymond, an aspiring monk, and his beloved gifted daughter, Aveline. Aveline, who thrived in the pursuits of men, skilled with the bow and arrow, and destined to be married off to a suitable man someday. Aveline, who discovers the joy of love to her own and her lover's detriment, persecuted by the church and separated from her lover and family. This is her story. So that kind of recaps a little bit. Sir Philip Fitzwilliam is obviously her father. So the plot and character development for her in this book, kind of how I saw it: when a young privileged woman falls in love with a young man approved of by her family, she starts to learn that loving someone is not always enough. They are ripped apart by the church, who charges them with fornication in an effort to extort money from both their fathers, and in order to keep them alive they have to pay. In the process of saving herself and her relationship, she escapes and sets off to join the crusades where her lover was sent for punishment for years. I think it was like a dozen years or something. So that's kind of the plot and character development summed up, so her learning in life. The storyline: originality, yes. Suspenseful, yes, definitely. Little bit of humor. Drama and conflict, definitely lots of that. Little bit of mystery of things you don't know, and lots of action. Good stuff. So on the tragic romance end of it, kind of how I saw the story going. She meets her lover 24% into the book. They kiss about 31% into the book. They're ripped apart about 51% into the book. And then she escapes, where she's being kept, around 70% into the book. There are deaths and different stuff like that, a little bit of gore. Definitely not any closure, definitely open to sequels. You feel like her story has really just begun when you get to the end of it. The writing, the author is by Ken Fry. It's very easy to read, written in the third person. I didn't see any glaring typos at all or grammar issues, no weird inconsistencies. You are definitely left hanging. And he has 11 books out, and it looks like 10 of them are in Kindle Unlimited right now. Did I like it? Yep, I would definitely say it was good. I would say the thing I least liked about it was how it ended, and also kind of the snap decision to love, which kind of happened in the beginning with her first lover. It was like, ooh, he's looking at me, he loves me, and you kind of wonder if that's just her youthfulness or if that's the way she is, although it's kind of echoed near the end of the book too. That was my least favorite thing about the book. And then my favorite part of the book would have been when she cut the fingers off a guy for groping her. If only we could still do that today, huh? All those times that you get groped in the bar. She just whipped out her sword and chopped 3 of his fingers off. That was pretty awesome. Okay, so quotes highlighted by the readers. It is all very well for His Holiness the Pope to declare such things as a crusade. He doesn't have to get his hands covered in other men's blood. So that was Sir Philip, her father, who said that. Saying no more, she knew in her heart she could not make such a promise. Only God can ensure their fates. God be merciful and let this promise be true. Aveline. And 3 fingers from his right hand tumbled into the dirt around his feet, followed by a fountain of blood. She pushed him back, and he fell screaming to the ground. Very good. So the reviews on Amazon.com, 5 reviews, a 4.8 out of 5 for this book. Carol Mars Phillips says, Fry's writing, as always, is superb, with descriptions that made me feel more like I was watching the story unfold in front of me than merely reading about it. The pace of the story couldn't be more perfect. The characters, good and evil, are all entirely realistic. Patricia Furtstensberg says, a wonderful read about a strong young woman. I felt at times sad and happy with her. That was what her title said. And D.L. Turk says, this is a wonderful story of love, survival, and quest. Mr. Fry has created a wonderful and believable character in Aveline, as well as the other characters. I found my already strong feelings towards the church even more exaggerated as I read Fry's accounting of the churches of the 11th century. I found myself vocalizing my support of Aveline as she pursued her quest for the love against all odds in the trek into the Holy Land. I would recommend the book and look forward to the next episode. Yeah, I totally agree with his review. I think that's one of the hard things about reading a book like this. You kind of wonder, how could anyone belong to that religion that killed so many people in the past? But I want to hear your opinion, so leave your comments below, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this book review. Thanks so much for stopping by.